What's good? What's good, date night online fam? That's right. I said it, fam. I treat y'all like y'all family, all right? Because anytime you take time out to look at any type of content that I may lay out for you, just for you to just to come in and just take your time and check us out, I consider that family. You know, family kind of look out for everybody. So I appreciate everybody logging in tonight for another Mark's Top 10. The top 10 tonight will be Why Men Cheat. Right? Now, I know that sounds like some BS it may be some BS that's gonna be spewed tonight, but guess what? Like anytime I give information out there, it's gonna be based on some type of study, some articles. Just to remind you, let you know when you're talking Mark's top 10, basically what I do is there's typically an article I may look at, check the article out, and they may have like 30 of whatever the top 10 may be. So what I do is I pick the most unique, most thought-provoking type of the top of choices. I'll make it my own. It's no particular order. I just want to just kind of lay everything out for you. Also, just a reminder, right before we start, at least everybody that's listening out to it, at least hit the like, share button, comment, say what's up, say shut up, whatever. Just lock in with me, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. So here's what I decided to do. Since it's a top 10 why men cheat, I'm gonna bring in a woman just to kind of balance it out. You know, I didn't want to bring guys into the fold. I didn't want to bring guys into the fold, so I decided to bring a young lady in. You know, somebody said because they want my boy Carlos. Carlos, what's going on, man? It's my boy Carlos. And then we got Keisha. She checking in. What's up? What's going on? To my let's go. Everyone want to hear the information. Also, shout out to my boy Los. What's up, long time friend. Also, L Sledge. I see you, man. I see you out there. You know, I see you sharing the information. Me and L Sledge go back a long time, and actually, we're gonna hook up on some things. I see what you got going on. We're gonna hook up. I'm gonna definitely hit you in the inbox. We're gonna get together. All right. So, other than that, fam, share, like, comment. I do appreciate the comments or whatnot. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and bring the young lady in that I actually did some content with last night. We had some good conversation last night, so I want to bring her back. You know, favor for a favor. Hey, guess what? 2024, favor for a favor. You know, you watch my back, I'm gonna watch yours. So this is the young lady's back I was watching last night. What's going on? What's going on? Can you? I think you go ahead and get your. I think your mic is off. There you go.
Okay, there we go.
What's
Hey,
up? What's
what's
up?
up? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Tell everybody your name, where you from, and anything else you want to tell them, and what you
Okay,
got going.
okay, thank you. So my name is LaDonna. I'm from Oakland. I live in Atlanta. I'm in the ATL in these hot streets single, That's when I saw that date night online, I was like, that's for me. I need
Right.
I'm looking for a date. No, I was playing.
Right.
No, but
Right.
but
Go
no, I
ahead.
have my own blog, relationship blog called Smart Love. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. I have a YouTube as well. And so, yes, Mark blessed us with his insight on my live last night. I do Smart Love Sundays. So we had some great topics. So I'm excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, we had a good conversation. Like, what was one of the topics? And I also posted it on my actual page as well. What was one of the topics? Some of the topics that we discussed yesterday.
We talked about like first date,
Right, first date.
like
Right.
the expectations, where to go, how long they should be, what are acceptable first dates. One topic that we talked about that's related to the topic we're talking about tonight is, can a man cheat on his woman and still
Oh
be in
yeah.
love with her?
Right. 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 Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Right. So look, matter of fact, we're gonna touch on that at the end because
okay,
it all ties in. Right.
it
It all
does. It
ties in.
does.
All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. So here's what I always do. Anytime I with the top 10, again, I always tell everybody it's basically based upon the things that I saw. It can be 30 to 40 different things, and so I take those 10 that I like, and again, that's why it's Mark's top 10. Guess
Okay.
what? It ain't your top 10. If you want your top 10, you can get your own top 10 out, put your own content, you'll post whatever you want to do. Right?
I mean,
This is my
I
top
don't even
10.
know if it's 10 reasons. Could there really be 10
It's
different
a
reasons?
lot, but I picked the most unique ones that can be thought provoking,
Okay.
not the basic ones. Oh, he just a dog. Okay, what else? Like, why is he a dog? So we're gonna do it. We're gonna go ahead and get started though. Here we go. Okay, so Mark's top 10 reasons why men cheat. All right. So number one, remember this in no particular order. Men seek novelty. Men seek novelty, right? So check it. So here's what I'll do. Give me a second. Let me do this for a second. So what do you think about that? If when you see that, what do you think when you see that?
Is this the same as and can we cuss on this platform?
Man, yeah.
Okay,
Go
is this
ahead.
the same as saying like men like seek new pussy? Because that's what I read.
Right.
That was my
Basically.
number one.
Right. No, no, you're absolutely right. Let me see. Let me see. Let me do this right here. Boom. Here we go. I do like I like information, right? So let me show you this right quick. Boom. Novelty, right? You see that? You see?
Quality of
Can you
life.
read that?
Yes.
Okay, hold on for a second. Boom. Here we go. The quality of being new, original, or unusual. Novelty.
Okay.
You
I
see?
mean, you cleaned it up, but yeah, I agree with that one. They seek new pussy.
Hold on now. Oh yeah, I did clean it up. So yeah, I mean, look, even women like new stuff. Y'all like new bags. You like new, you like new whatever, right? But you like it. You like new stuff. New stuff sometimes when you begin to see something and you desire it, it looks good to you, and in those cases you choose to do it. In this case, it's not. Again, this is my disclaimer. I am not justifying cheating. Okay, I'm not justifying cheating. Basically, what I'm saying is these are some of the reasons that we can probably consider. I'm not saying you're supposed to accept it. I'm not saying it's an excuse, right?
Right.
But at the end of the day, men seek novelty. All right,
Okay. So let me just ask you something
go
about
ahead.
this. So is it fair to say that it doesn't matter the quality of the new? It's just that it's new?
It depends on what night it is.
Okay.
It depends on what night it is. It depends upon how I feel that day. It depends on what kind of
Okay.
week I had. You
Okay. So
know,
because you could have the Birkin bag at home, but a
right?
new Michael Kors came out and
Yeah, and you might want to go purchase the Michael Kors, right? The novelty of it, the unusual. All right, so let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next one. Boom. When we feel unacknowledged, right? When we feel unacknowledged, right? So when you see that, what are your thoughts on that? What does that mean to you when you see that?
Okay, so that to me, that goes into like a psychological reason, right? So the first one was more like surface.
Uh,
So this feeling unacknowledged, that's like, he's feeling like his needs aren't being met. Like there's something within that relationship that he's not getting.
right.
So when you say unacknowledged, like give me an example of what that.
Okay. I'm glad you asked. All right. So I'm glad you asked. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna actually share my screen and I'm gonna actually pull up the article because again, we're not gonna go off of Dawith's own understanding, right? We're going to actually be able to see an article which came from marriage.com, right? It's a marriage.com article.
Okay.
And in this article, boom, here it is. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go here. So that's number 27 on this list, number 2 on mine. There's no one single reason why men cheat, but one common thread has to be do with the feeling unappreciated and not taken care of well enough in the relationship. Many people
Okay.
feel that they're the one doing most of the work in a relationship, and that the work isn't seen or rewarded. We will feel like all our efforts goes into unacknowledged, and we don't know how to give ourselves the love and admiration we need. We look outside. I'm sorry. Guess what? I'm a little inebriated today, y'all, so I read kind of sideways. But moving on. So, based upon that particular article, right? Based upon
Mhm.
it, do you get a little bit better understanding of that as far as the
Yeah.
acknowledgement?
Yeah. And you know what? I'm gonna say when you get ready to do the top 10 for the women, keep that one on the list too, because
Right. Okay. So we
we
going somewhere with this. You're gonna see. You're gonna see. You're gonna see.
okay. Okay. But yeah,
You're
I
gonna
I
see.
can understand that feeling
Right.
unappreciated,
Right.
unacknowledged.
Right. It's like
Um,
it's
yeah.
like it's like I've held you down. Right. I've made sure everything was good for you. What appreciation are you showing? I need some acknowledgement of that, right? So
Mhm.
yes, that would be considered a common thread for both. To your point, right?
Mhm.
So we have to keep those things in mind because there may be some other things that may be coming to it as well. And as we continue to go down the list, I always suggest that understand, put yourself almost in that place. Again, not justifying it.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Put yourself in that place, right?
yeah.
As a person that does not been acknowledged. Go ahead.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So
Okay, go
does
ahead.
that mean that the person that they cheat with is like they are showing the appreciation that they're not getting at home, or is it like revenge? It's like,
It's
well, you're
feeling
not acknowledging me, so I'm gonna just go do this.
it's filling the void, similar to right on the flip side. And guess what? I'm pulling the belt out on the women next Monday. The belt is coming out, and it will be why do women cheat? We're gonna do that one. So the belt will be coming out. So to
Okay.
answer your question, yes, it is similar, right? It is similar to what how women are being acknowledged around the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
That taking care of the house, make sure little Johnny, got his fed, bath, etc. Right, all those
Mm-hmm.
things too. So I would probably say that would be as equal, right?
Yeah, but it's like the thing is like when you go to someone outside the relationship for that acknowledgement, I don't feel like it's equal, right? Because that person is not, you know what I'm saying? Like what, but are they acknowledging, are you doing the same things for them and they're acknowledging you? Yes, thank you for paying the bills. Like what, I don't know
I
how
mean, it's not.
acknowledgement
It
comes
could
in.
be acknowledgement. Is just some simple words. Thank you, baby, for blah. Right.
Hmm.
That I know I see you. It's the I
Okay.
see you. I see you over there. Yeah. Okay. I
Okay.
see you over there. Like that would be acknowledgement, right?
Okay.
Right. Right. Oh, hey, look. Comment. Why cheat when you can just leave? I mean, that's what. Here's the thing, and I'm gonna say this: matters of the heart, right? Matters of the heart, and when it comes to hard wiring of the mind, which means things can be so embedded in your mind, it takes some deprogramming and just separating from a person, right? That takes some rewiring, right? Because you're so bonded and the mental part, the spiritual part. So that takes time. So you can acknowledge and see that someone's not treating you right. But there has to be a deprogramming of the mind and of the heart, right? In order for you to just leave. So it's not just that easy to leave. I definitely had to address that. What do you think about that?
Yeah. And Renee, like I feel you on that. I would say that piggybacking on what Mark said, it's not always cut and dry like that and just easy to leave. From a male perspective, Mark, you have to tell me like what, because I just feel like men find it very hard to leave, where women often, like once we get to our wits end, we can find the door. But men will like drag a relationship ship out until it's,
And in
they
most
are put
cases,
out.
right, right, and a lot of times, and a lot of times, I'm gonna be fair and balanced. I get on both sides. So next week, again, ladies, next week will be your turn. But I gotta address the fellas today. So I'll just say this: a lot of times, most guys, it takes a guy a lot longer to leave sometimes because he's looking for a safer landing spot. You see what I'm saying? I got to make sure that if I do this, will this work out? For the most part, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Or
Oh, now
sometimes,
you want to be smart about the situation.
right? You know what I'm saying? And that's not for all cases. That will be just one of the things I can probably think of. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And again, let's a reminder: anybody that's listening out here, I'm not a dating expert. I'm not a coach. I'm not anything but a dude with a mic and opinion. And basically, this particular platform is for y'all. And so this is an interactive platform, so you can come on at any time. Just hit me in the inbox. You can, I'll shoot you a link. You come on. I mean, you don't have to be an expert. You could be somebody that just want to say something.
Yeah.
Right? I want to make sure I mention that.
That's a question that I've always wanted to know as well.
What's
Like,
that?
why not just leave?
Well, again, have you ever been married?
Yes.
Have you ever? Did you ever think you stayed longer than you should have?
Yes.
Okay, so there's your answer. Why you ever did that is your answer. Why?
Well, I know from my perspective as a
Right.
woman, but I don't understand why
Okay, from the
men.
man. Okay,
Yeah.
it's similar in a sense,
Okay.
right? It's more of I gotta make sure this is what I'm gonna do. Whatever decision this is, am I really ready to let it go? Am I ready for anybody else to have it? You know what I'm saying? Like that's really probably one of the number one things. But I don't know if I let this out, somebody else gonna get that. You see what I'm saying? And a
Oh,
lot of
that somebody
times,
else can get his woman.
yeah, I ain't ready for
Wow.
nobody else to plant that flag yet.
Okay.
Right? I
Okay.
might even be done, but it's a simple fact that she might go out here and somebody may plant that flag and I ain't gonna like that.
Okay.
You see what I'm
So,
saying?
yeah.
That's another small smidgen part of it. I would probably say too as well. You see what I'm saying? It's similar to like we don't allow you to leave us until we done first. But if you do it before me, guess what? I got a problem with that because I didn't do it. So you beat me to the punch. I got a problem with that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right about that.
I mean, I'm just being honest. And if any dude want to come up here and talk about it, let's talk about it. Look the keyboard stuff out. And look, here's another thing too. Word to the wise. Anytime we leaving comments and stuff on Facebook and stuff, I do not read dissertations. Right? Make it short and sweet. By the time it get to like 17 lines, I didn't check that after the third one. Really, to be honest with you, so let's make it short and sweet. We can have a nice conversation. Couple words. You ain't got to say a whole lot. Just putting it out. I don't read dissertations. I'm sorry. All right. 3. We need our ego stroke. We need our ego stroke. We kind of touched that yesterday. Remember, we actually we talked about that. What do you think about that?
That was definitely on my list of the reason why men cheat. Like it's I don't know, something about side chicks. Like they
She
they have a
sure can stroke
way
it right.
they have a way of stroking a man's ego that
She sure can work. She sure can stroke it right, baby.
just enough. It's just
Right. Somebody they have. I'm gonna read the comment down here. That works both ways. Okay, expand on that. I'll expand on that. Who put that out? Because I want to be direct in what my opinion is. All right, and we'll come back to that when you
that is
expand on that a
that
little bit
what
more.
stroking of the ego.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what it is. Okay, what exactly that may entail. For hold on one
Yeah,
second.
I mean, so from a woman's perspective, like if there's a man that is giving, me the attention and stroking my ego and telling me how
Mm-hmm.
beautiful I am, and I don't get that at home, that
Mm-hmm.
could open a door to
Mm-hmm.
cheating. I mean, if we just being fair, like if you get to get your ego stroked outside,
Right,
you
right,
best
right,
believe these men know them same tricks to pull on these married women as well.
right.
To get them to
I'm
step
with
out.
you. I'm with you on that. So okay, so here's what the article says. Okay, the one most common reason is personal insecurity, which creates a huge need to have their ego stroked. A new conquest gives them the illusion that they are the most wonderful, which is why men have affairs. That's deep. I read a little bit of each one of them, but sometimes I can better comprehend once I read it again. So that was very interesting, right? The new
Hmm.
conquest gives them illusion that they are the most wonderful, which is why men have affairs.
Mm.
That's deep. What you think about that?
Okay, so this is actually going a little bit deeper than when I first read that. So it's about feeling like, I'm the man, like, and I guess for whatever reason they're not feeling like that in their relationship. So it's like I need to go, get that attention, or like I need someone to lift me up. When I mean, to be honest, like if your woman isn't doing that for you, that's a bigger problem than the fact that you stepping out to cheat. Like if your woman is not making you feel like you are the king of the castle, and it could be because you're not making her feel like the queen. I don't know the
Yeah.
situation, but you feel like, okay, well then I need to go elsewhere to feel like that. That's the
Well,
bigger problem than the
yeah,
actual
it
cheating
is.
itself.
It is when you think about. I mean, I guess. Oh man, that's why they say something about lowering your ego. Like when you're in relationships and stuff like that. Like lowering your ego allows you to really see the other side a little bit, and not realizing that your side is the end all be all. So that takes for a person or a man to lower his ego. And sometimes we may have a hard time doing it. But as far as finding someone outside of the home to stroke our egos, I don't know. Again, it's gonna all tie in if because of what I want to say next. It's gonna reveal what's probably coming next, but I'm
Okay.
gonna all tie it back in, right? And it'll all make sense. Okay.
Okay.
And again, it's gonna make sense, but it's not an excuse. I want to make sure I keep re-emphasizing that this is not an excuse, and
Yeah.
no,
And
we're not.
Tiffany
And then
said
we
that we,
will say it again. Go ahead.
oh, yeah. So Tiffany said that we both need to make sure we give each other compliments
Absolutely,
every day. Yeah.
absolutely, yeah,
So,
absolutely, absolutely. We sure do.
so you
All
know what?
right.
After the top 10
Oops.
reasons, you should come back with the top 10 ways to fix it.
Okay, okay. Well, guess what? We're gonna talk about how to fix it before we end it. I don't just talk
Oh,
about the
okay.
problem, but guess what? Here's the thing. So far, right? So far, I am in order to understand. We have to dissect, dissect it, right? Because we can only look at it from one side, right? So once we try to get down and dissect these particular reasons why, again, these are not excuses or flags, or not flags, or excuse for someone to use these on their significant other. It's just a way to for women to understand it, right?
Yeah.
And then also it's for us to understand ourselves as men, right? Because you can probably tackle what the problem is than just wondering what the issue is. So maybe when you say, okay, striking the ego, what can I do as a man to make my woman or allow my woman to feel special? So then maybe she can reciprocate that, and then that may stroke my ego because it may allow me not to go outside of the home. I'm just throwing something out, right? Once you
Mhm.
discover what it is my point.
Yeah.
You
I
see what
like
I'm
that.
saying? So this is like discovery.
Okay. I like it. I like it.
This is discovery, and I think y'all seen this one. This is truth, but then again, it's not an excuse. Sexual addiction, sexual addiction. Okay, I can't
Okay.
even get the addiction part about it. You know what I'm saying? The sexual
Okay.
addiction
Sex
is
addict.
one of the
Okay.
reasons why men cheat. What do you think about? What do you think about that? Because before you say that, I want to say this. Do you remember Eric Benet when he broke up from Halle Berry? His reason why he had an addiction, it was for sexual reasons. He
He
couldn't.
did have I forgot
Exactly.
about that. He sure did.
Absolutely. He said he had a sexual addiction. That's one of the reasons why him and Halle Berry broke up. It's not an excuse, but at least he was real that he had a sexual addiction. You know what? Go ahead. What do you
Yeah,
think about that?
but addictions, it's okay. I think that's the starting point is to admit that you have this
Admit.
addiction. Okay.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
as long as you're not just using it as a way to get out of, a situation, as if you're going to try to get help, because addicts need help, that means that you can't control it. So you need to get help. So I
Right.
don't think seeking help by having sex outside of your relationship, I don't think that's like feeding the drug to the crackhead.
Right.
That's
Right. So
that's not a good excuse.
I know, but okay. So remove the sex again. My disclaimer: I'm not giving the excuse, but I'm just telling you another side to look at it. Right. So let's take the sex out. Right. Everyone has an addiction.
Everyone has an addiction.
Everybody, it's some addiction we all have, whether it be sugar, that's an addiction, right? Sugar, coffee. Some people got to have coffee. It's an addiction, right? So it says something that you cannot function without, right?
Okay, well, go ahead and bring up the thesaurus. Go ahead,
No,
Mark.
no, no, no. I'm just saying an addiction is an addiction. Understanding that we're not, take the sex part out, right? Understand this person might have an issue. And when I say put yourself in a space where you think about the things that you desire when you know you probably shouldn't have, right?
Mhm.
So take the sex part out. Now, the sexual addiction in the sense of you doing something that will cause friction between you and the person in a relationship. That's where it's wrong, right? Because you can have a sexual addiction as long as you by yourself, you do whatever, and you being honest, it's just what it is. But in this case, remember this person has a sexual addiction, and then you are in a relationship with that person. So again, like you say, we have to identify it and then do what? Try to find a way to fix it, right? But you gotta figure out what it is first. If you don't
Right.
want to do something, you got to figure out what it is, right? Or
Mhm.
decide to stay in it and continue to crash out.
So what exactly is the definition of a sexual addiction? Because like
Okay, so guess what? I got this for you,
I knew you
right?
had that ready to go.
So it says sexual urges are one of the biggest reasons behind what makes a man cheat in a relationship. There are numerous reasons why men commit infidelity. One trend we have witnessed over the past 20 years has been an increase in the number of men who have been diagnosed with sexual addiction. Did you know that?
Did not
Okay,
know
keep going. These individuals misuse sex to distract themselves from the emotional distress that often is the result of past trauma or neglect.
that. Ah, see, now okay.
Okay. All right. They
Okay.
struggle to feel affirmed or desired, and this is the explanation of why men cheat from the sexual addiction part. Now,
Okay.
okay, so here's go. Men who undergo counseling for sexual addiction learn why they abuse sex, including cheating, and with that insight, deal with the past traumas and learn to emotionally connect with their spouse in a healthy way, therefore significantly reducing the likelihood of future infidelity.
Okay.
That you
That
remember
makes
we talking about solutions on how to fix it? There you go, right there.
Okay, that makes sense to me. So the sexual addiction is actually just the act of covering up a more emotional, deep-rooted trauma or something that they are not dealing with. So it's just like it's not like I physically have to have sex or I'm gonna die. Like it's like no, that I need this additional
Mm-hmm. Right, right.
satisfaction because it's filling a void with,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I never thought about like trauma or neglect
Mm-hmm.
being the trigger for that. That's interesting.
Yeah, yeah. So I want to read this comment. If you know you have a sexual addiction, why be in a committed relationship? Okay, do you want to tackle that,
I want
or
to
I'll
know.
tackle it? But okay, so okay. Well, again, I think we're focusing on the sexual part and not realizing the addiction part, right? Addictions are addictions. Anything that you need to do in order to function, you know what I mean, and that you can't almost go without. It's almost like somebody having a drug problem. It's just like telling them, go down to them and get yourself cleaned up right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, and I'm not a therapist or anything, but for my just addictions for me, and again I may be wrong, but for me it's similar. Like again, like telling somebody go get off of drugs or whatnot. They don't even know that they have a problem. Most people don't even know that some of the things they do or they have in their own personal life is an addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Remove the sexual part out of it, right?
Right.
And focus on the addiction and what's that's causing for that person. And again, I'm just trying to understand it, right? And
Yeah.
according to this article, just to also it is a past trauma, right? Most people don't even feel like they have any trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Again, remove the sexual part, right? People have traumas in dating and still don't even realize they have past trauma, right?
Yeah.
So again, put yourself in that seat, right? And
Yeah.
understand that the things that you go through, it may look different than what we're talking about. But we
Yeah.
all have those problems though. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Does that
Yeah.
make
And you know
sense?
what? That definition right there actually has changed my mind a little bit on that, because now I'm like, I could be more empathetic. Like if I could think about like comparing them to like a drug addict, alcoholic, someone who is using these vices to cover up a deeper issue. Mental is something
Mm-hmm.
mentally that they have not dealt with, and they're using that as the vice. So,
As a
okay.
vice. Right.
All
We're
right, but
using it as a
still get
vice.
help, bruh.
Oh
Once you
yeah, well I'm not
don't
again,
tell
here's
me
my
you're an
disclaimer.
addict. Don't tell me you're a
Right.
sexual addict and
You
you don't.
know I'm an addict, baby. I couldn't get up. I couldn't take it. I fell
So
into
how
it.
often do you go to counseling? How are you dealing with? That's gonna be my next question when you tell me
You're
that.
right. Okay. Number 5. Men desire adventure. We
Mm.
desire adventure. Right. When you hear that, what do you think when you hear that? Men
That's not a good
desire.
excuse, because you could have just as much adventure within your relationship as you can have outside.
Mm-hmm.
So, adventure, like, I mean, the what is it? The thrill of possibly getting caught? Is that the like where where is, what is so adventurous about cheating that you all
Guess what?
desire, Mark?
Guess what? I'm
I'm
glad you.
asking you,
Huh?
what is the adventure that
What you
you're
say?
desiring
I know.
out there that you can't
Hold on for a
fulfill
second.
within your relationship?
I mean, you can, but let's see what let's. I'm gonna give you my opinion, but let's go to the experts who put this list together, because they the
Okay.
one said this, not me. How they love for the desire for adventure and thrill, risk taking and excitement seeking. When husbands cheat, they escape from the routine and blandness of everyday life. The life between the work, commute, boring weekends with the kids, in front of the TV set or computer. The way out for responsibilities and duties, specific role they have been given or adopted for themselves. This answer is why men cheat in that particular thing.
Okay. All right. So, okay. So just,
Yeah,
to
it's
have
the
some excitement in their lives.
right
Okay.
to have something
Okay.
relaxed. And guess what? It's almost similar to who? It's almost similar to certain same thing you guys do, right? And according to the numbers, which I'm gonna bring some numbers out next week, I don't want to speak on it, right? I don't want to speak on it, but look, I'm gonna pull some numbers out, and it's gonna show it's not that much separation between men and women on it. But we're not gonna talk about the women tonight. I'm saying it's not that much separation. Okay. So
Yeah.
who's ever beating their chest out there? Guess what?
Yeah.
It's by a slim margin. That, yeah. Just a reminder.
Yeah, I mean, and I understand that. And like the list for the women will be some of these things will, apply and but we also have more, we have some different ones that you all don't, right? Some like
Right.
sometimes
Some will be like the ego may be it. Are there some women with egos? Yes, but it's not bigger than a man's ego.
right.
I don't care how much you think you got an ego, how much of masculinity you may have in your body. It'll never be to the level of a man, right? I call it simulated masculinity anyway. It's simulated. You acting like this because you think that's what men doing, but you ain't hard enough. You think you're hard enough, but you're really not. All right.
Yeah.
So let's do this. Let's go back. I like to go back for let's go back for the people that was late to church. So we're gonna go ahead and start from the top and just quick review, okay? Because we're at number 5, and everything's flowing just the way I like it too. Top 10 reasons why men cheat. Number 1, men seek novelty, meaning something new.
New pussy for everybody that missed that.
Number 2, I'll skip that part. When we feel unacknowledged, I mean, hey, I'm out here busting my, you know what, and it's, hey, you see the food on the table. Tell me you see it. You know what I'm saying? Tell me you feeling good. You know what I mean? Let me know you make me feeling good because I'm out here doing my thing. All right. We need our ego stroke. I mean, it's really too much more. I can understand the ego because sometimes I probably, in my wayward ways at one point in my life, I can definitely see that I probably dealt with a lot of people just based on ego. That's the fact that I can possibly even do it, right? Just to say, you know what, I did it because guess what happens? It must have been an ego thing because once I did that and it made me feel some kind of way when I conquered it, it didn't allow me to take it to the next level. So it had to be an ego. Okay. Sexual addiction. Again, the main thing about this is the actual addiction part. People have addictions. That can be another reason why men may cheat. And then number 5, men desire to have adventure. Again, it's almost to a point where, we go to work, come home, sit in traffic all day, work, blah, blah, blah. And the next thing you know, we kiss wife, go to bed, start all over again. We all need adventures when it comes to relationships and our dating. That's what keeps the marriage, situationship, friendship, whatever you got together, at least doing new things, adventuring out. So always find new ways to keep it spicy. And just in case you need a little help, remember, go to youtube.com, right? It's Date Night Online. I have Mark's top 10 dating ideas for men. Top 10 dating ideas for men. They were very unique ideas for you guys instead of just sitting down having a meal. Let's do something different. All right. All right. So what do you think about the first 5? How you feel? What are your feelings real quick before we can get through this? What you think?
None of them were a surprise to me.
Mm-hmm. Well, you got a better understanding though.
Like I didn't think about like the the underlying reasons behind the sexual addiction. That maybe I could be a little more sensitive to if I come across someone that says they have a sexual addiction.
Yeah, you got right, but don't give them that though.
I'm not gonna write it off, but I'm gonna ask my question. Are you seeking help? Like what?
Right, but he has to. No, what it is that you have to figure out what are the you would have to figure out what are the signs of someone that may have that. You don't know. You have to see what the signs are and gather the information for yourself. What you don't want to do is give a person an out, right? You throw some out there like that, then it's oh yeah, I do have it, right? Ooh, boom,
Oh yeah,
excuse,
no.
Right? So your only thing is observation.
I ain't diagnosing you. I'm just saying if you came a week with
no,
excuse,
right.
I'm yeah, you got to come
Right.
with more information, but like, so
I'm freezing,
okay, so
yo.
yeah, yeah,
Freezing
none
up.
of
All
these
right, here
are.
we go. Number six. Number six. When the partners are unavailable, right? When the partners are unavailable, what do you think about that part?
Okay, so off the top of my head, I'm guessing that the partner is like physically unavailable, like they travel, often for work, or they live out of state, or
Mm-hmm.
that's number one. I would think as in like being unavailable. They're not physically available.
Mm-hmm.
And then there could be a like a mental or emotionally unavailable, or just telling you no. It's like the pussy's just unavailable. Like, I don't.
Right.
It could be
Right.
one of those things.
Right. 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 All right. So, all right. So here's what I'm gonna do. Let
What
me let
y'all
me do
think?
this. All right. Hold
What
on for a
they mean
second.
by this?
Oh
Okay.
man, my screen. I don't know. I'm tripping over here. All right. Boom. Here we go. You can see this.
Yeah.
Okay. Men cheat when their partners are unavailable. Both partners are practically vulnerable during a reproductive journey, including loss or fertility challenges, especially if the grief paths diverge for long periods of time. The weaknesses that comes from through is why men cheat. I'm trying to read that again. When the partners are unavailable to them.
Okay. So it's talking
So
about like a mental, like,
checked out,
yeah, checked out, basically.
right? Trying to give, you know, some type of communication where you're trying to let the person maybe know how your day was. They're not as connected. I think that would probably take that from that as far as the connection part. That one is that's broad.
Yeah, that is broad. But
That one's
okay, so let me
broad.
piggyback off of that one then. Let me just ask you this.
I
So,
get it. I get it, but it's so broad the way to narrow it down. Go ahead. Go
yeah,
ahead.
okay, so like if your partner is unavailable for whatever reason, we can just go with the reasons that was written there, like,
Hmm.
they're having they went through some trauma, loss, having, issues down there, fertility issues, and they're unavailable for sex.
Hmm.
Um, is that a good enough reason to go out, like to go get the sex from somewhere else, or can't y'all just not just handle your, like, what I'm saying, just masturbate and just wait? Like, I don't.
All right.
It's like
Right.
it didn't have no time limit. So
Um,
this is like, is this just a week? Is
I
this a
can't wait.
couple of weeks? Are we talking years of being unavailable? Like,
Well, I guess case to case basis. You know what I mean? I guess it's
it's,
almost similar to when
it's
someone leaves the home and has to travel, and they're not there to uh, what would you say? Probably offload some of the weight, right? Because it feels good to be in a relationship where so that if there's something weighing on you, right, it's good to have someone to offload to, right? And so if you don't have anyone to possibly offload to, you find somebody else to offload to.
okay.
You see what I'm saying? Which will be the cheating part,
Okay. So
right?
we're not
So
just
again, I have so much
basically,
going on as a man. Huh?
yeah. No, I was just gonna say, so it's
Say
not
it
even
again.
just like, it's not just the physical sex part. We're talking
Right.
about like emotionally opening up to someone else. We're considering that in this cheating discussion too, right?
It could be the physical, and because it's always it's typically it's going to be definitely two sides. I would probably say, and what I mean by two sides of that, right? Because then yes, you can say, well, I need sexual favors, and my wife ain't favoring me, right? She's not available to give me what I need. You know what I'm saying? I just bust my ass out here in the street. You know what I mean? Like, and again, they acknowledge me with that You ain't got to say a whole lot. Just acknowledge me, with the pleasurable feelings in between your legs. Basically is what
The
it
true
is. You know what I mean?
prize. The prize.
Right. Right. The reason that I'm here. Give me the reason why I'm here. All right. All right. Here we go. Lack of admiration. Lack of admiration. You notice a lot of the lack of admiration. A lot of these is almost like, again, it's so much similar. Again, I don't even want to talk about the other side, but it's still a lot to do with acknowledge. You still have to acknowledge. It falls in the line with acknowledgement, right? Because once you show admiration, that's almost a form of acknowledgement, if that makes sense. So, but what do you see when you say that? When you see that?
Yeah, so I see it's very similar to like, the ego being stroked, the being acknowledged, like they all kind of tie together, right? So
Right.
it's again something that is, missing from their relationship that these side chicks just so happen to know that they need his admiration. They want to give it to it without even.
Right. Boom. Let's do
And
this.
it's like,
Let's see what
oh,
the
you're
experts
so
say.
great. You're such a. Oh my gosh, you work out every day. Wow. Oh, you're such a great dad. Oh yes, all those things. They know all the right things to say.
Oh man.
So,
Right. Right. Right.
okay, what
Can
is
you
the
read this?
definition right here?
It
I
says
mean, I
number
don't have my
18. This
glasses
number
on, so
18
I
on
need you to
this.
read it to me.
The single most common reason is this. I see why men look outside the relationship for companionship as a perceived lack of admiration and approval by their partner. It is because they tend to base their sense of self on how the people in the room view them. The outside world serves as a mirror of self-worth. So if a man encounters disapproval, disdain, or disappointment at home, they internalize those emotions. So when a person outside the relationship then provides a counter to those feelings and shows a different reflection to the man is often drawn to that. And seeing yourself in an encouraging light, well, that's often very hard to resist.
Mm,
You see that? Yeah.
deep, yeah.
That's I'm soaking that one in, right? I guess it's more so if a man encounters disapproval, disdain, or disappointment at home. I guess you would probably say verbally abusive people, verbally abusive women, right? The disdain, right, would be something that you would communicate with me to let me know that you feeling a certain kind of way about me, right? You have
Mhm.
disdain for me. And typically that disdain usually comes from verbals, right? Because physically, that's a that's an L in most cases, right? That's an L. So you only have the words, right? So you're gonna show through disdain. So now that kind of falls into the aspect of you don't admire me, right? Because of the
Mhm.
disdain that you're giving due to your verbal onslaught of foolishness, right?
You
So let me
getting
tell you.
personal here. Who
I told
who
a story
hurt you,
before.
Mark?
No, 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 no.
You
No
are
one ever hurts
special.
me.
You are kind. You
Don't
are
even do that
important.
because guess what? I'll just say this, and I'll say it very light. I'll say this very lightly. Any situation I ever put myself in, it was on me,
Mm,
right? It was on me, and what I mean by it was on me is that I didn't allow any situation to make any choice I made. Thing I
mm.
made, I stood on it. You see what I'm saying? So that wasn't never hurt. Those are definitely lessons, right? But I
Wow.
will tell you something, and I'm gonna give you an example of that. So whenever I had to ever deal with something of that nature before, I'll say this: you got to tell me why you feel that way for me to even believe it. You have to tell me why you feel that way. Because if I ask you, because I'm a guy. Sometimes I have levels, right? But if you're gonna say something to me, I'm gonna challenge it. If I disagree with what you're saying? Like if you say I'm a lazy whatever, then I'm gonna ask you, what makes you think I'm lazy, right? And what does that say about yourself? I've literally actually say that to a point of either you're lying or you're telling the truth, right? So if you're telling the truth, guess what? That's on you. You still here. That says a lot about you. If you telling the
Wow.
truth of what you're saying, right? Or if you lying, I suggest you stop lying. You know what I mean? That's me. You know what I'm saying? That's how I see it. So it's very difficult for disdain words to ever break me. Cause you gotta damn near twist my arm to make me believe what you saying.
Yeah. And I'll say, like, having been married before, I know that, because, like, when you're in a relationship, especially a marriage, it's a lot of work. It can get tiring. There's so many things, so many factors that, you're, you know, focusing your attention on, that you can start to not, it doesn't even have to be intentional, but you can start to um slack off in this area. Maybe in the beginning you were showing your partner admiration and often, and then you just so focused on other things, the kids, the bills, the house, the this, the that, that you start to, that becomes like, you know, the last thing on your mind. And so, if you don't deal with that as a couple on either side, and the person decides to go out and cheat because of it, it's like, you know it's not fair for either partner. It's not fair for the person that is not giving the admiration, and it's not fair, that the person decides to go seek it elsewhere without, fixing it within a relationship. But no, put that
Right,
camera
right.
back up that Keisha said. I wanted to see that
Oh
about the
yeah,
side.
the side chicks. Okay, yeah, that was definitely a girl. Girl, go ahead. The side chick only put in part time work, so of course they can only focus on the positive all the time. That's their role.
That's their
What you think
role.
about that?
Yeah, I agree. That I wholeheartedly agree with
Hmm.
that. And because they don't have all those other factors that I just mentioned that, come into play in a relationship, especially a marriage, that it's easy for them to just give that little bit of admiration, the positive, because they don't have to deal with the rest. They're not worried about the finances and the money for the rent. You know what I'm saying? They're not worried about, Johnny's tuition. They're not worried about the family vacation and the
Right.
savings and the 401k. So, every little thing that he does for her, is small in
Right.
comparison to what, is going on in the household, in the relationship. So, agree.
Right. Okay. Lack of admiration. So we almost at the end. When we don't feel valued, when we don't feel valued, it's so all of them are so similar, right?
Mhm.
They're so similar in the fact of, it's all about, you know, it's really all about saying, again, I see what you're doing. I see the hard work that you're putting in, right? I appreciate you, right? That will
Mhm.
also fall into that particular line too. And I think, it's so common for both sides, right? And I think, thus far, especially with this particular list, that has to be definitely touched on again. That again, it's not an excuse. I'm not saying people are supposed to stay in bad situations, bad marriages, or anything of that nature, right? But we have to also gain an understanding, because sometimes even with understanding, not saying it is, even when it's wrong, right? You can at least understand it, right?
Mhm.
Because the better you understand things, what happens, it answers a lot of questions that you may have about the situation, right? So one of the things that keep people stuck is that they're trying to find answers. What keeps people stuck? They try to find answers, right? So the moment is they trying to understand, man, why this happened? What is this? You stay more into a lower space when you're trying to figure it out, right? So the faster you figure it out, the faster you can get out of it. Use it as leverage to get out, not to accept, but to get out. Because that lessens the time you stuck and you're like, oh man, I don't know how we got here. You know what I mean? Now you got to understand why we got here so you can get over it. Is my point. What you think about that?
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely something to think about. What you laughing at?
No, I'm just thinking that it's like I see a theme here with
Right.
the ones that you've chosen, and it's like I don't know. It's going back to a lack of something that they're not getting in the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Which I wholeheartedly believe that these are some of the reasons. I
Mm-hmm.
just question like how often are these the reasons, and is it more so just the new pussy, the
It
the
can be.
it's
Look.
like because as women, I'm gonna speak for myself. I'm not gonna speak for all women, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we just like really like you weren't getting it. Like I did the XYZ. I'm doing all these things at home, and you still stepped out. Like we're like blindsided because we feel like we are doing all these things, and the man still cheat.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, what is that reason? So
I mean, it could be. It's up to you to figure. Like, here's the thing. Even though they're one and the same, you can at least kind of pinpoint a little bit better, right? Give you
mhm.
better understanding. It's not like. Here's the thing. Half of the things that we do, guess what? We don't even know why we did it. We don't know why we do some of the things we do. First thing, what happens? Soon as somebody gets caught cheating, most men say, "Well, I ain't really like her." Anyway, you see what I'm saying? That's usually the only reason they can give. They don't know why, right? They just know they did it. You know what I'm saying? So I guess according to what this list is really saying is that will be something that I guess the man would have to do. That would be something that the man would have to do to maybe look at the ego first. This is some of the things you can check, really, honestly, for you can discover it for yourself. Am I being admired by my spouse, or am I just being selfish?
Mm,
Is she acknowledging me, or am I just being selfish? You know what I'm saying? Is
okay.
she not? You see what I'm saying? You can go through the checklist. This is a way. This is your checklist. This breaks it down. It's all the
Okay.
same, but which one is it?
Yeah,
You
no,
get what
I
I'm
like
saying?
this. Okay, so instead of this being like just an explanation for women as to why men are cheating, you're saying this list can help men figure out why they're cheating and try, because we're gonna talk about the solutions toward the end, right? Like how do you fix
And
these?
but also to give. Right. How do you fix them? Right. Well, we have to identify them first, right? You got to identify to figure out how to diagnose it, right? You got to figure out what it is. It's just almost like you go to the doctor. You can assume, you can Google it all day, but at some point you got to get a diagnosis, and he got to tell you what it is before you can even. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but also think about it from this perspective. From the woman's perspective, it can also give you insight, right? That's a win too, right? That's a win for you. Again, gives you insight for you can really look at it a little bit more clear, so you can figure out what you need to do. It's not about accepting it. It's not about saying this is why we do it and you need to stay. That's your own decision. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? But this can be a tool for you. You know if that makes sense. All right.
Hmm. And
Okay,
that
so
there's two
go
things
ahead.
that are on my list that I don't know if these are your last two, but
Okay,
I'll
but
tell you after we get to them.
and we will have an open house. Open
Okay.
house would
Okay.
be shortly therefore after.
Okay.
All right. Infidelity is a crime of opportunity. Have you ever heard that before?
This was actually no, I've never heard of that, but opportunity was like that was one of mine on the list. Okay. But please
Okay.
explain the term.
Okay. So basically, you know what? And I want to apologize. Here's the thing. I want to apologize. I got so many different screens up, and what it's doing is kind of freezing things a little bit. But we're gonna get through it, and I'm gonna go back and review it just in case we missed anything. But want to make sure that I let everybody know. I know it's kind of choppy a little bit because I got so many different screens. I'm navigating like 5 different situations over here, but we're getting through it. It's running real smoothly. But if you see the choppiness, that's what it is. And I do apologize. We'll definitely go through a quick review just to make sure you didn't miss anything. Let me make sure I got some for you right quick though, like I always do. Boom. Can you see that?
Hmm.
Huh?
I can.
Okay. So crime of opportunity is that it is committed without planning when the perpetrator sees that they have the chance to commit the act at the moment and seizes it. So it's nothing. Is without planning when the perpetrator sees that he has a chance to commit whatever crime that is, right? Whatever that is, right? Again, it's not an excuse. So I guess it's the adventure.
Yeah.
it's
I
it
mean,
go,
the
it's the
opportunity
adventure,
presented itself.
right?
Like it was
It,
there. So
right. So
just
why
did it.
not? Why not? Why not? You know, why not? Why not? Why not? You know, why not? Right? And here's what I'm gonna do because I'm this is I'm I'm gonna clean this up, and then these last two we definitely don't need any understanding on this one because these are definitely blatant reasons why. Hold on for a second. Let me do something right quick. All right. All right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So real quick, this is a good opportunity for me to go back. You were before I released the last two. Oh, the last, yeah, because I have a bonus one. Here's my question for you. Um, what was the two you said you had that maybe on your list? Let's see if we thinking the same thing.
Okay.
Tell me
So
what you were thinking.
so one of them was just the opportunity, you know. It presents itself, and so why not? Why not
Right.
take advantage of it? Um,
Right.
Another one that I had on my list was that they just see something they want and they just want it. Like they just, it's like it's the thrill of catching something that they want. They're like just
Right.
like, okay,
It's the
like let
thrill.
me see if I can do this. Let me see if I can get her. Let me, the thrill of the hunt. I see something I want. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna go after it, and then the opportunity presents itself. I'm gonna take it. Has nothing
Right.
to do with what's going on at home. This is just something that I want.
Something I
So I'm
want.
gonna go
Right.
after it.
Right. Right. Yeah, infinite crime opportunity. So you're absolutely correct. That was definitely what you were in line to. So number 10, right? When we feel the woman is unhappy, when we feel the woman is unhappy is one of the reasons why men cheat. When you see that, what does that mean to you?
I am confused.
I'm glad you said that. I'm gonna pull it up again. I'm gonna pull it up
You feel
again.
that the woman is unhappy, so you go
Yeah, I'm gonna
so
do this one right
like,
here.
is it like I'm gonna go cheat on her before she cheat on me? Is that what
Mm-mm.
that?
I'm glad you asked. Okay, so basically, here's what that would mean, right? When we feel that we've done all we can do and you still ain't happy, right?
Mm,
We didn't make sure you was good. We didn't emotionally fed you the way that you say you want us to feed you. We didn't take the load off of you. You ain't got a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot to complain about financially. The kids are doing good. You know, I'm coming home to you every night. I take you out, and you still not happy. You see
mm.
what I'm saying? That makes me feel unappreciated, not acknowledged. Back to everything
Undervalued.
else. My ego isn't being stroked.
Oh,
Blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? So we've done all we could do for you, and you still ain't happy. So guess what? Let me go out here and show somebody else, and I'm gonna show somebody else who may appreciate what I'm doing, even though they wasn't there.
mm,
Even though they wasn't there.
mm.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
It gets to a point where you get, I guess, where you get tired. I done did all I could. It's just like the other side, which we will talk about the other side next week. But similar. You see
Okay.
what I mean? Similar. And here's another one. You're gonna like this one right here. This one right here probably, once I reveal this one right here, I think after anything I just said, if anybody thought that I was excusing the whole man, blah 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 mark by top 10, all that, you know, all that. I'm gonna go ahead and get back on your good side and say, guess what? The bonus one is because we choose to, right?
Period. Like, period.
Because we choose to is the reason why. And not saying that arrogantly, just saying it in a sense where like all of this has to do with choice, right? All these things can make you feel a certain kind of way. It can make you feel in all kind of ways, upside down, left, right, down, whatever, right? But you still got to make a decision. If this person's doing me like that, either I'm gonna, after I walk through the procedures of trying to get it in order, and I went through the proper procedures, communication, let you know how I feel, you know, doing what I can do, you know, at my best. Then the choice comes in is that am I gonna stay or leave,
Mm,
right? So if
yeah.
you are cheating, guess what? That's what you chose to do, regardless, right? It falls back on what? Accountability, right?
Accountability.
It's a choice, regardless of how a person makes you feel. In all of these, in all of these 10, you have a choice, right? And your
Mm,
choices go back to, you know, just, you know, you have a choice. You know, that when you see that new thing, you see what I'm saying? Do you want to touch it or not? It's a choice, right? It's a choice when you, if you feel unacknowledged, have you communicated? Have you done everything you needed to do to let her know what makes you feel acknowledged? Did you do that? Right? Egos is a choice. Do you want to feed it or do you want to just find other ways to feed it? Allow your significant other to feed it or leave your significant other and then go feed it. That's another choice, right? And then a choice to go get help. Identify a choice to figure it out. Well, man, I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm out here blowing backs out through town, right? I don't know why I'm doing it, right? What's wrong with me? Like I don't. I know this is something I shouldn't probably be doing, but what's wrong? So it's a choice for you to go get help. Go back to the choice. To venture, hey, same thing. You got a choice to figure out ways to make your stuff spicy. If she can't make it spicy, guess what? You better try to find a way to spicy. Because at the end of the day, whatever you decide to do, at least you can be like, well, I did all I can do, babe, to bring adventure. It's still a
mhm.
choice. The partners are available. It is a choice for you to again to relay the message. I mean, that one right there is you have to find better choices in order for you not to feel that way. You know, lack of admiration. It's a choice. If you're not getting it, leave. When we don't feel valued, if you don't, once you've done all you can do, guess what? You got a choice for you to stay or leave. Infidelity got one too. You got a choice. Do you want to take the opportunity or not? Right? It's a choice. When we feel the woman is unhappy, have you done anything and she's not doing it? Guess what? You have the choice to either stay or cheat. It's still a choice, right? It's we choose to. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So look, that's it. What are you thinking? What are you thinking? This is a good time to offload.
Yeah, you know what? I like this list. It was not like the typical things that I was thinking.
Right.
Um, Things like, not getting enough sex at home, not being attracted to your partner,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. So like, um, which these are like superficial things, right? And I feel like your list like kind of went more in like internally and mentally and emotionally why a man is cheating versus just, what I'm saying, he ain't getting head at home and just, what I'm
Mm-hmm,
saying,
mm-hmm,
he's
mm-hmm.
outside, or he might
Surface,
put on some
surface
weight.
things.
And so so I liked this list, and yeah, I think that it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense.
It makes more sense. So it give you an opportunity not to excuse what you're going through. It gives you, for women in this case, because again next week we will be getting on the women's head. Next week the belt will be coming out. So it will give women a little bit more insight, so they're not holding on to something that they probably don't need to be holding on to,
Yeah.
because you've got answers. You've gotten answers. So yeah, that's how I see it. That's how I saw it. I learned a lot. Like I say, like I got my information. So that was from marriage.com. And guess what? That particular article is written by a woman. That's the
Mm,
funny thing about it. It was a woman that wrote the articles. It's 30 of them. It's on it's 30 marriage.com. Now, there was some on there. I will say this: out of the 30, I chose 10. The ones I didn't choose were really superficial. It was something like men cheat because they, just all kinds of surface stuff that we already talk about.
mhm.
So sometimes we have to expand our knowledge to understand where we're going.
Now,
And I
did this
think that's the way to do it.
author, the person that wrote the article, did they interview men, or is she just like a psychologist and she's just like, I know why?
Through research and
Okay,
yeah, through research. And then she used other, some of those quotes were by other therapists
got
and
it.
relationship people. So even though it was more outline, even though it was more outline, it still gave a little bit more. Hold on for 1 second. It still gave a little bit of more context as far as their findings. Right? It wasn't. It was definitely well researched. Right? I feel. I believe it is, and I'm going to show you something real quick. Speaking of which, now we can go back. Let me close this out. We got that up, and let's do this for a second. Let me
And did you get through the comments?
Yeah, I'm gonna click through them in a second, because we definitely gonna let everybody know. But I want to give a little bit more context, and sometimes we can answer a lot of questions that before they even asked. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You want to be able to get those. So this the article right here. Can you see that?
Yes.
And some of the stuff. Let me get some of this blocking stuff. And see, you can read this. Okay, so cheating is one partner when one partner. Let me start over. Cheating is when one partner betrays the other partner's trust, breaks the promise of maintaining emotional and sexual exclusivity with them. Being cheated by someone you love very dearly can be devastating. People who get cheated on suffer enormously. He's saying, do all men cheat? You see how I kind of, this study is a proof. If you're a victim who's, so it gives you different, you guys can look at it. It's on marriage.com, just if you're interested in looking at it.
Can you put the link in the chat?
Yeah, I put it in the chat. I definitely will. I'll do that right now. You can look over yourself, and then you can do your own what, as they say. And I'll definitely put it in there. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put it in there right now. I don't know what that is. Happily married. We just get out of here before some stuff pop up we don't want to see. Or the way y'all feeling, y'all might want to see it. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't got nothing like that going on.
What
Oh
was it?
man.
I missed it.
Oh no, it wasn't nothing going. I'm just talking. It was some about. I put the link. I put the link
Oh,
down in the description so
thank you.
everybody can click
I'm
on
gonna
it and
bookmark
look at
this.
it. Yeah, everybody
I'm
can click on
gonna
that.
write an article about this on my blog.
Right, that's a good one. All right, so you want to tell everybody what you got going? Tell them about your platform again for those who are late to church. Tell them a little bit about your
So
platform.
it's called Smart Love Inc. .com, and I have a Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube page devoted to basically a platform for like-minded men and women to share our experiences, our stories, our lessons, things that we've learned when it comes to dating, relationships, and marriage. So I'm not an expert either. Like I'm an expert on me and my experiences and what I've been through.
Right.
And I think that it's good for us to share our stories so that we can possibly help each other. Because you don't feel like you're alone in your thinking and how you view things. Sometimes when you just go to your friends, you might get their jaded um, view on things, just because it's just based on their own experience or where they are in that experience, the advice that they're going to give you.
Right.
So I wanted to
Right.
create a platform, where I call
So,
it smart love because it's like hindsight is 2020. So we've gone through some things and now we're smarter because of it. And we
right.
can share from this side of it. So I do Smart Love Sundays. Just we get on and talk about different topics such as this, and yeah, it's real informal right now, but
You don't just keep going. That's what we say. We just keep doing it. Just keep
yeah,
putting information out. Keep sharing your thoughts. Again, I think it's almost sometimes even yes, you do need experts or counselors or coaches or whatever. But sometimes
mhm,
real talk is powerful, right? Because you can probably equate to real conversation, real talk without the extra, you know, the extra, whatever that extra is. Sometimes it's real sit down and at the crib because you have those conversations at home. So why not have them here? That
exactly.
you see what I'm saying. This is what it is. This platform is very informal. I got my hat on. Sometimes I might throw my shades on. I
Not
might
too shady.
drink some. Yeah, it was gonna be a shade day today, but tomorrow I think
Yes,
next week is gonna be a shade. It's gonna be right.
'cause we got
Next week is gonna be shade week. I mean, excuse yeah. Next week gonna be shade week because I gotta hide my face when I see these women lips drop when they out here saying it out. You know. What I mean?
yeah, yeah.
So we'll definitely
Okay.
tackle that one. You're more than welcome to come back. You know what I mean? Like to tackle that one because I want to hear a woman's thoughts, right? And anybody else that want to come on next week too, go to the inbox. If you want to come on next week, I do a top 10 reason and men too. I mean, look, fellas, we can all get a. Let's make it. Let's try to make it a men's night next Monday. Give me one or two guys that want to come up. We can talk about why women cheat. And we may throw a woman, may throw down in the mix, and then you could probably kind of bounce on some of these things. So we'll see, and it's all gonna be dictated on everybody else's feedback. So
Yeah.
how we go is going to be the way y'all want to go. It ain't up to me, right? I just got the vehicle. You guys are driving it, so either we gonna continue on this road or we're gonna crash out, right? Well, I'm gonna say this: I'm not gonna crash out. But I will definitely throw some people out, right? So I won't crash out, right? Because I won't crash out. Because there are people that do want to support, and I do want to get to a point where I just want to have people just inboxing me, and I find people to come on, or some people even refer. So I would prefer that people decide to do it themselves. I'd rather you hit me than me hit you. I want you to go up here and get an opportunity to kind of talk about your thoughts, your views, and we'll come up with your top 10. You want to come over here and cuss me out, say my top 10 full of, you know what? Then we'll talk about it. All right. So until then, we're gonna do next week. So tomorrow again, real life relationships. We're doing a series called "It's Your Fault." We'll talk about that tomorrow.
It's your
Other
fault.
than yeah, well, that's a whole nother subject. But it's a great. We have scenarios. It's also a great way for a way to put the accountability back on a person. So because anytime that you're going through a situation, it's your fault for not really digging in or staying in the situation. You can't blame nobody. Slavery is I think, and the last time I checked, it has been abolished, right? So if you are in a slave situation, guess what? It's probably your fault. I'm just being honest, right? Because you haven't did the work, or you haven't did the work, right? So it is your fault. You know what? Listen, it's your fault, and I'm gonna say this. Not, I hate being sometimes long with it, but I have to say this, especially when you're in situations or relationships that you're not supposed to. It's almost is your fault in a sense where if you have a certain belief system, right? Whatever your belief system may be, whatever religion you may practice, whatever spirituality you may practice. One of the biggest things is that it challenges you into being learning how to be a better person, right? To better yourself, also to have confidence in yourself, so that if there was a certain shift or movement, guess what? It tells you that whatever you do and you have fears that you can't step out, it's your fault, because the whole time that you went to Sunday school, right? It tells you whatever you desire in your heart, right? And whatever you decide you want to do, it can be done. But if you don't do it, it's your fault for not believing it. And that's all you've been taught your whole time in Sunday school, vacation Bible school, all those things at whatever school it is. You know what I mean? It tells you that you can move mountains, right? So if you choose to stay in a situation and you don't believe you can move that mountain, it's your fault. I'll just end it and say that, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. We might not talk about that, but we're going to talk about how it's going to be your fault.
Oh, okay.
That's tomorrow at like 8:00. I'm gonna stream it. It'll be on YouTube. We'll get it out there, and y'all tune in for it tomorrow. All right. Other than that, hey, Miss Donna, I do appreciate you. I said Miss Donna, like you older than me. If I can recall, I'm a little bit older than you. So
I know you're saying it out of respect.
out of respect,
You can call me Queen if you want. That's fine.
Queen Donna. Hey, we're talking a little bit, okay?
All right. Thank you for
All
having
right.
me. Thanks,
No problem. No,
everyone.
thank you. This favor for a
Bye.
favor here. We do favor for a favor here, okay?
Yes.
My platform, your platform. Hey, 2024 is even exchange.
I
The year
like
of
that.
even exchange for all people that you watch my back, I'm gonna watch your back. Right?
I like it. I appreciate
All
it.
right.
All right.
I'll
Have
talk
a
to you
good
later.
night.
Good night. All right, everybody. That's it for tonight. I do appreciate everybody coming out. Hey, again, I will be streaming tomorrow about 8:00 with 4 other people. We do have a series. We got about 4 more. Also, next month, drop your inbox. Here's the thing. I gotta tell everybody this before I go. It's very, very exciting news. So in April, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna have a real live matchmaker / dating coach. She will be doing a session on date night. Whatever session she do for her people, she'll be doing it live, right? And so we'll also find ways to get those type of services that you may need. But before you feel like you may need those services, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually show you what matchmakers or dating coaches do in order to prepare you. So guess what? I'm going to extend this out to everybody out there. Anybody that wants to do that live, let me know. We will choose a young lady, and we'll take you through, go do a live coaching. And it'll just be a mock. You don't have to be serious, but if you want to come on, that's fine. I do extend that. And for her to do that at no additional cost to you, free game. Hey, don't be lame. And just go ahead and use it. It can be a great tool. And then we would like for everybody else to see what it looks like too as well, because dating coaches, matchmakers, and stuff are great. If you're only looking for relationships, what you spend is what you get back. If you go on, not knocking any other dating app, but if you pay for $10, you're gonna get $10 worth of service. Right? This is what it is. Okay. Other than that, hey, you guys have a good night, and thank you for tuning in to Date Night.